Greetings from Humble Farm Refuge, Dublin, Georgia. Today is December, I don't know, it's probably the 12th or something. And over the past few days, I've been inspired to reconnect. And I'll explain what I mean by that. Reconnect to the outside world and share the inside world, which I feel very connected to, which is nature. So, and one more thing I want to talk about is the isolation generated by working on a farm. So, I am Art Thomas. I've been farming this place for just right at 4 years right now. I enjoy it. And right now I'm looking for how to turn around this camera where you can see me, but I got some encountered my first technical difficulty. So to avoid that, I'm just gonna flip the camera around. So Humble Farm Refuge in Dublin, Georgia. I'm Art Thomas. And well, I can't see me. I'm gonna have to fix that. I thought that you could flip around the camera in the video mode, and that it is what it is. I don't see. But today I'm taken away from my normal farm chores to give you a tour of Humble Farms and do my best to explain what it's all about. I'm under the weather today. You may notice in my voice, they say I have a sinus infection, and I waited a little too long to go to the doctor. But here we go. Keep it in mind, reconnecting, isolation is what inspired me to do this. Now, Humble Farm Refuge is about sustainable living, agritourism, and disaster preparedness. Along with that, here we go. Under this sign here is what's left of the American Beauty Berry. And also you will see that I'm using wood chips as my medium to growing medium. The wood chips, I believe they turn into compost, and then from compost they turn into planting soil. And I don't think you can beat it for whatever your soil pH and all that kind of stuff. If you put enough wood chips down, I believe that it will adjust itself. Now I'm working on this fence line here I really want to put bamboo up here, and there's a special bamboo I want to grow, and it's called moso bamboo. And to make a screen, I don't really like or care for to see all of that on the farm. So this is a field that I've got. It's a grass field. It's a grassland. It's in the grassland program with farming. And well, I don't want to do much with it until I decide exactly what needs to be done. One of the things I would like to do is I like for it to develop into an RV park. And I'll show you more as we go along. Anyway, I put up a sign. My neighbor sprays, he's constantly spraying some kind of stuff, poison. And I put those signs up, beekeeping. I don't know what I put them, you don't pay him any attention. So here, down at the bottom of the field, this is sugar cane. This is red ribbon sugar cane. It has had its first frost, and it's ready to be harvested right now. If you look at it, it looks like, oh boy, it's dead, but right now it's supposed to be at its sweetest. And if I wasn't just by myself, I would harvest this and put it up for sale. I looked at sugarcane. This very same sugarcane yesterday was selling for $4 a stalk at one of the local stores. But again, the idea of this video is to show you some of the things that farmers deal with as we are farming. This is what, once I cut it down, I'm going to cover the sugarcane with these wood chips. So just give a light covering of the wood chips. Again, these are some of the chores I would be working on if I wasn't really so under the weather. So you see, all this sugarcane over the past 4 years started from 2 sugarcane stalks that I bought, planted, and kept multiplying it. Here's my wood chip pile. I'm collecting wood chips here. The idea of the wood chips is to get wood chips aged. So this is this year's wood chips. By next year, it will have aged and be ready to put directly into the garden. With the wood chips I'm using now, I force them into the garden. And well, the thing about it is, I wanted my gardens to look real sharp. And when I say sharp, I really wanted them to. I wanted them to be defined, well defined, and with a material, a growing media that I could do. So I took a growing medium that would be productive for the farm. So I went ahead and put those wood chips in, and now I gotta wait for about a year before they will be really the growing medium that I need them to be to grow whatever I want. Okay, there's always chores to do on the farm. There, you see, there's a faucet. And why is the faucet way off from the electrical box? There's a separation there. I did that, but when I was doing it, I did not notice that the faucet was way the hell over there, and the electrical outlet for the RV is here. So I didn't bother to move the water line and bring them a little bit closer together, but I'm about to do that. And why am I about to do that is because Hurricane Helene has forced me into action here. I strongly suspect that my RV electrical hookup and my water, well, it's not working. There's no water coming out of that spigot, and there's no electricity. There's just a little bit of the low voltage electricity coming out of that panel box. And here is the reason why. Now, this is the second time that I've repaired this cable, and this is a 100 amp cable. What I'm saying is, this cable for 200 feet of it is $300+. And so I've replaced it twice. Well, I spliced it once and put, I think it was about 100 for the cable. Well, I put the whole cable in was $300, well, I'm gonna say $400. Then I spliced it for $300, and it's still not working. So I'm gonna have to change. Excuse me, I'm gonna have to change. But this is where my sugarcane started. I planted 2 stalks here, and 2 stalks led to what you saw back there, way down in the bottom. This is my well house. This is where the water comes from for the house. And I also ran a pump off of that to irrigate my gateway gardens, which are out front there, but that's not working. And in my efforts to adjust it, well, I took the cover off. That's the frost covering to keep it from freezing. But when I come with the new electrical plug for the RV thing, I'm going to run a new water line, a dedicated water line for irrigation. It does just fine for the house, but there's not enough water to irrigate even my gateway gardens. So here you will see, these are the first gardens I started with. There's a grapevine. These are actually, well, they're seedless. One is a seedless grape and the other is a white grape, green grape, white grape. And there's cauliflower growing, Thai basil in the back closest to the house. And there's chives, garlic chives growing in there. And things are bedded down for the winter here. So I've winterized my gardens, and well, now we just hope to see what happens here next year. Along in this garden is vinca, and vinca reseeds itself. Well, it's gonna drop some seeds. I hope there are enough seeds for me to go back. I think it was 120 plants I started with in here. Then around the trees, the two trees, is another 120 plants. So I'm hoping to reseed next year. Okay, the Gateway Garden, this is my picturesque garden, but it's also edible. I've got lettuce in here now, and there are carrots, and this garden was so good this year. I mean, it was just beautiful, huge sunflowers, and in the background from the inside would be banana trees and Russian sage, muhler grass, and roses. It's really beautiful when it's live. And from the storm, there was so much wood. There's an abundance of wood. So I've taken the wood and I call them Christmas decoration. It looks like Christmas to me. So this is where I started, firewood. They're $20 stacks, but you get a lot of firewood for $20. And I think there are 14 stacks out here. And again, this is a picturesque garden here. In front of the firewood are crepe myrtles that I started from my mom's plant. So I'm hoping that they'll come back next year. And there is the olive tree. The stub is the sensor for the gate. And it's just right, beautiful to me. I love agriculture. Again, the isolation to do this work. And, you're connected to the land, but at the same time, that disconnects you from the people. So you get a little idea about, what I've been doing over the past 4 years, setting it up. I really like hospitality, entertainment, and I like learning about the old ways that we may have to fall back on for in case of emergency, disaster preparedness. Right there, this is a rocket stove, and one of the first forms of heat. And there is I've winterized a chayote. Chayote is a squash family, another a crop that here I'm going to do the best I can to keep that till next year. It came back, and I have the archway to the garden adorned with jasmine. Now this good jasmine doesn't look too well here, but that one down there, well, it looks good. And this is a chayote plant. This is a very vigorous plant, and during this time, it will cover this whole well house. But the storm, we got a new roof due to storm damage, so the trellises had to be taken down, and they're just hanging like this right now. I'm going to redo them, like I say, the spot on the other side. This is somewhat what a chayote looks like. This plant here, this I think is a vegetable here. Anyway, I hope to use that seed. I'll bury it and see what happens. So along with that, I think the aesthetics of a farm is beautiful and is important in promoting agriculture. And the idea, one of the ideas that I do here is to make farming look easy. You know, I was really intimidated when I entered into the occupation, the art, the idea of farming. It was very intimidating to say that you're a farmer, that I'm a farmer. So I took it on, and I am so happy. I am so pleased that I did. It has been so, I'm gonna call it educational, informative, keeping you busy. And when I'm showing you those shutters, after the roof was replaced, I was inspired to build these shutters for the front of my house. And I did. So now, I'm gonna say we're headed to the south side. This is in the direction of what I would call my market garden. Humble Farms is, well, you can call it a lot of things. You can call it permaculture, you can call it a homestead, and there's some other names. But to me, it's just an old-fashioned farm done in such a manner where it doesn't look like a overwhelming field. It looks like a reasonable place to work and grow. When I say work, I don't think farming is work. I think it's fun, growing things and seeing them grow. I think it's spectacular. So, but this is my market garden. This is what I call it. And I forgot to show you my farmer's market over there. And in this market garden, I'm growing elderberry. They call them green screens. I'm creating green screens. On the outside of my fence, I have gardenias. There are 48 gardenias in the front of my property. And inside the gate is elderberry. So, and then the purple stuff that you see in the elderberry is kale. So it's an interesting green screen, to say the least. And I've got an electrical fence to discourage deer, predators, that kind of thing. For the first time this year, I am, I don't know, you could call it seeding cassava. I know they're just little sticks right now, but if I'm lucky, those little sticks will turn into plants next year. Well, that's just the same way that I got this garden started. And when you're talking gardens, I'm sharing with you gardens that you can grow, or anybody can grow. It's to me, it's just a need. And see, I keep planting these sticks all along the way. And there'll be more detail in another video, but again, this is the tour. And some of them catch, and some of them don't. And just here beside my house, this is developing into more of a herbal kind of garden. The olive trees, and there's blackberries, raspberries, bitter leaf. One of the things I specialize in on this farm is they call them specialty crops. Now, the definition of specialty crops. I would say that they're plants that they say you can't grow, but I enjoy growing exotic plants, especially stuff, medicinal type plants. And so here I have winterized my bitter leaf. That's turmeric growing around that tree, and it's on the other tree. I'm a Libra, so everything's gonna be two. And over here are the wild onions, and you can see where I've seeded some garlic. This would be red garlic. I just enjoy planting, but then there's a balance in there, and that's where the solitude of doing all this work comes into play. Is it good or bad? Well, we're gonna leave that to the imagination. In here, I think it's cabbage and all that kind of stuff. And also farming, labeling. Labeling is a challenge because really, I just really want to get it in the ground. But keeping up with when I planted it, where I planted it, I'm a little short there. And there's a little bit of spinach here, but I think according to Dr. Saber, it's one of the things that we need to scratch from our list. And believe it or not, this garden was full with strawberries. Over here, these are my hot peppers, habanero. Well, these are jalapenos, and behind the jalapenos are raspberries. And just on the other side of that tall trellis is blackberries or blackberries. So you get a little idea. And then as I imagine things, this garden, I call it my house garden. So I got my market garden, I got my house garden. Problem with this house garden is this is a wetland, and it stays so wet back there. The pH level in that soil, well, according to the extension agent, it's not good for growing anything. Now I'm leading you to it. I'm raising catfish here in these tanks, and I got a couple of tanks. This structure is an old-fashioned smokehouse, and there are two means of smoking here. There's direct smoke, which is on the inside. I'll share it in another video, but it's easy, fairly easy. I don't want to take too much of your time. There's direct smoke, direct smoking. Start a fire here and smoke it. And then there's indirect smoking. Right under that trap is a firebox where the smoke is piped up into this smokehouse. And I'm looking forward to butchering a hog and a goat tomorrow for New Year's. Not tomorrow, Monday. This is my fish cleaning station. I love fishing. This is a shed I put here to accommodate moving. I'm still moving. It's been 4 years and I'm still moving. Between constructions and stuff breaking, it has been a tremendous challenge. And you know, to set these tanks up, I'm still learning. For me, farming is a continuous learning experience. I'm looking to see if any fish were able to climb through. I know that there's going to be one. They are cycling, and they're still small enough to climb up through the pipe, because I took the screen out of the pipe because I got tired of cleaning the screens. Well, you'd be surprised how fast they get dirty. But in this tank, I've got about 100 catfish. These are 250 gallons of wind, and I didn't put things back just yet. But I'll get around to it. In these tanks, 100 catfish, and there's one over there. I went over there, but you can see them down in there. I see them good on the camera. So there are catfish here, and we are studying and learning how to raise them in tanks. Okay. So these are the banana trees, and I did show you I had bananas this year, and having decide. Right now I'm having to decide. Again, there's always something here. So we close that camera. I don't know how that got open, but I'll come back to it. The tour of the farm. Okay. And down here, these are chickens. On my farm, I raise chickens, bees, over there. That's the apiary, bee yard, and earthworms. They're spread around carport, then out on the farm. I have I think 5 or 6 chickens and a rooster, one rooster. And I'll call them like my little soldiers. They are just as trained as they can be. I see that their little stoop has fallen down, and I need to put it back up. That's the feed tray, and it's clever because it's a little trash can. No. Okay. And so my food is kind of rodent protected. So it's inside the metal can, inside the plastic can, metal and rain. And you can see some of the storm damage that I'm having to deal with. And as I do these videos, you will become more familiar with what I do here on the farm. I know I don't want you to get out. I don't want to hear it. Hello? Okay, let's go. Okay? So, here, this morning, it looks, no. I don't feel like chasing no chickens. This morning, no. She got out, but no, you are determined. No. So, that's 4 eggs, I think. Let's say 5 eggs. So 5, we call them barnyard eggs. Okay, time to go back in. Let's go. So I need to give them a little bit of water, but they haven't been without water long. And much rain and stuff like that that we've had. And normally, there was so much debris in this garden. That's why the vegetables, these are mustards, are so spaced out. The wind, the debris removal, it's taking a toll. So that's some of the stuff a farmer goes through. We survived Hurricane Helene. And you see the hoop house, devastated. This is a muse for a bird. Now, this is gonna be my new power source and water source. I'm getting ready to put a well and irrigation in here for my market garden. So I'm excited about that. The problem is the well digger man is 3 months behind in schedule. So I did this in preparation, and now I'm waiting on him to come in and put the well, and then the irrigation guy to come in and put the irrigation, and the electrical people, well, I don't want to call them until the well guy's here. So the well guy's driving the whole picture. Again, wood chips, and you see all the storm damage, devastation from the storm, and like that. So I'm headed back to the farm mall where we can ride around. This is elderberry, and the thing about it, these are the mother plants for all of those outside the fence with the green screen. So you can multiply, it takes time. Some of the things that I consider on my specialty crops, one is moringa, those dead stalks, dormant stalks, or moringa. And I'm propagating moringa right now. Finally got a chance to do that, just like I did elderberry, turmeric, and a few other crops here. Turmeric, bitter leaf, cassava. The cassava the mama plants for the cassava are out there in between the moringa. So we were very pleased with how it grew this year, and we're looking forward to producing it next year. Now, the first year I did pretty good in my training lesson on growing watermelons. Here you've got asparagus. So I'm working on, now that the plants are going dormant, they have absorbed all the sun that they can absorb. I'll clean this bed and get it ready for January, February. So that's the idea here. I think farming is a circle, and you really have to stay, keep up with the game here in agriculture. And you don't have somebody telling you what to do, so you have to have a good sense for what needs to be done. And, well, that's a constant challenge. There's so many distractions. There's so much temptation. everybody would like to have a great time, but what do you accomplish? What are you going to get out of this great time? How does this great time benefit you? And just to let you see a little bit more storm damage, I don't want this video to be too long, but I thought again, a tour of the farm, and I'll look for any questions or comments. The greenhouse is destroyed. I did bury some plants in there too. Hope to winter, take them over the winter, and see what happens from there. So there's constantly something going on. Okay. Devastated. You got to figure out how to fix it. I'm also growing black bamboo. So here in this little spot, I ran across some. Oh crap, I passed it. I ran across black bamboo, and I stuck a stick in there to cultivate it later. It's coming. It takes some time. And then on my property, I have a field, I have forest, and well, that's what I'm thinking of. Wetland is what I was trying to think of, wetland. And see, all the way back to those, if you can see there's some pink flags, all of that's wetland. So I've been pondering in my mind what to do with wetlands. And what came to mind is mushrooms. So I'm growing mushrooms. You can't get back there now because of storm damage. And these are my walking trails. Well, as soon as I clear the debris from the storm debris out, well, it'll be a little bit more organized, and you can see how the structure goes. But I'm having to deal with all of this, and this is red oak, so it makes a good fireweed wood. It also makes a good medium for growing mushrooms. So I'll use maybe a stump like that size, to inoculate with mushroom sporum. That word gets me now. And this is where we cut that. And look around here. And this is where my mushroom farm is. But you can't get back here. Well, you can now that we got that tree down. So when you want to see how mushroom grows, don't look here, because I'm experimenting. And I did have a mushroom or two, and I thought I had it, but that's been the size of it. So I'm gonna start again with inoculating these logs. There are two methods of inoculating logs, and that is drill holes in them. As you can see, those are holes I drilled. And well, so far it hasn't worked that way. Then the other way is the total method. Now, I would take this to be lion's mane, but then I don't know. See, I would take that to be lion's mane because it's right in the seams where I sandwiched it in, and if you can get one growing, then it'll spread to the other. But getting one growing. Okay, now across the way from the lion's mane, there's some more, but we'll go up in all them bushes. I don't see no white mushroom lion's mane poking out. Yeah, I see one. Poking up there, but I was hoping it would be more prolific and would grow. And over here, this is a crisscross method where you use a log, lay the logs crisscross across here, and these logs have been inoculated with shiitake mushrooms. Now, whatever happened to the mushrooms? I don't know. So as I clear out this debris, then, well, we'll see what develops from there. And with farming, that's always the case. That looks like huckleberry, the purple stuff here. Looks like huckleberry. So, agriculture, we talk about it being hard. To me, it's beautiful. One of the things I want to share with you about being a farmer, I live off of this. I have no other source of income. And I'm a disabled veteran. So do I do all the work? No. But I'm responsible for doing all the work. So it's not hard. You really have to just dedicate yourself to it, sink yourself down to the grindstone, and go with it. And fortunately, help has come along. And there's some nice sized snakes back here, but it's winter, so you still have to be kind of careful, huh? Now, so that's the wetland, and we're headed back out of here too. This cold has got me down. That's why I didn't want to do too much. I decided to try this video thing here without making it too long. Now, I can't remember what I forgot, but we're headed again, devastated, but it'll come back. All the little parts, just trying to clean up from the storm, and there was so much. This is a third of recovery. I don't know, since maybe a month now, I just spend my time removing debris and figuring out what to do with it. That's how I came up with the firewood. It's not that I need firewood so much, but I think in the future that somebody will need firewood, and right now firewood is in abundance. To me, it's just beautiful gardens, and I love nature. I love being in nature. Some diesel fuel I'm storing right there. There's the apiary, the bee yard, like that. There's constantly something to order. This is my first graft from air laying. It came from one of these peach trees, so it's a peach tree that I like. So I tried my hand at air laying. There were several more, but we got an outdoor toilet, and we're gearing up for New Year's. These are my firewood racks. That's the trailer that they are on. So I have 2 firewood racks sitting on the ground somewhere around here, and 2 firewood sitting on that trailer that I can move about. Now, I just bought that trailer. I paid $350 for that piece of junk, and the scrapyard probably won't give you $50 for it. But anyway, I saw that when I connected to my tractor, it all leaned downhill. So if I put my firewood directly on that trailer, then it would be more apt to fall. So I built those racks. Those racks are 14 inches long, wide, in depth or whatever. I cut my firewood 18 inches. So I can fit 2 racks of firewood up there, and a cord of firewood is 4 by 4 by 8, and those are 10 feet. So this firewood that I will be storing will be more than a full cord of firewood. And if things work out, I should have 4 full cords of firewood. And that's the beast. That's what I call my Massey Ferguson 1723E. It is a beast. Yes. And then, going back here in the woodland, everything is There's always something. Oh, this is making whiskey. And I forgot, you may be thinking, I turned that ice maker into a worm farm, and we'll look at it later. The worm farm, the worms growing in there. And here's my shop. So this is where I make things, stuff, things I enjoy. Spend a lot of time in here making things. This workshop consists of 3 bays. The area, I'll call it my woodworking shop here. I enjoy working with wood, not so much metal, but every once in a while I have to do, excuse me, I have to do a little metal too. But this is bay, the work bay. This is the storage bay where I store stuff. This is the boat. And a friend of mine stores her RV here, so it's there. And I appreciate the trust that's put in me, again, that somebody would store $150,000 RV on my property. So it's just ways that you have to figure out, you have to be quite creative in the ways that you make money. Because the generational farmers, well, they are already set. And I don't think that the powers to be is gonna let them fall. Now you see, I can't even get back there. Just not yet. So I'm working on it. Just give you an idea. That's a hog trap, wild hogs. And if I see evidence of a wild hog, I'll bait that trap. And well, you know the rest. Again, this is the back of that trail. Okay, I started on this side of the farm, clearing my way. And back here, I got the wild idea to grow grapes. And why? Because there were a lot of natural grapes we call Scubbernines, Muscadine in here. And I thought, oh boy. And I've got 2 pear trees that I'm growing. I hope you can see them. Okay, 42 minutes. We need to stop this video. So I'm gonna kind of wind it up for the tour. I would think of doing a second part of the tour another day. And for those who, again, I hope you enjoy being introduced to Humble Farm Refuge. I hope you've seen some of the things that, well, 2 of the things I wanted to highlight this time, and that is the isolation and the reconnection to the land and people. And another one might be that farming ain't as hard as you might think. So with that, be encouraged. This is JuneBug. That's what I'm gonna call myself, JuneBug. Humble Farm Refuge. Look forward to making more videos. Thank you. Bye.